Hey everybody, welcome back to Prescription Bourbon. I'm DMC from Louisville, Kentucky. Today I'm doing a quick hit review of Nikka from the Barrel, Japanese whiskey. Alright, so Nikka Distilling Company is the second largest distiller in Japan behind Suntory. So get this little pour. This little bottle, sometimes it's hard to pour from, but it's as you can see, it's a cool little square shaped bottle. It is a 750 milliliter. A lot of people see it on the shelves and think it's not. It's kind of the size of a pint bottle, but as you can see, it's twice as deep, so whereas a pint bottle would be half this size and 375 milliliters, this guy is a full 750. So pretty cool. This was released by Nikka in 1985, and I don't think it came to the United States, though. Distribution here until the late 20-teens. I think over in Japan it's mostly sold in 500 milliliter bottles, and that's probably one of the reasons it wasn't sold here in the United States, because of the size. They don't only allow certain sizes up until recently. Japanese whiskey is in the style of Scotch whiskey. So this is actually a blended whiskey, like a blended Scotch, but this is a blend of malt whiskeys and grain whiskeys. Japanese whiskey spells whiskey without an E, just like Scotch, and Japanese whiskey also allows added coloring like Scotch does, so it might not be natural coloring. But this is a blend of over 100 different barrels, or 100 different blends of whiskey, so they really try to give a good expression of what whiskey smells like right out of the barrel, especially to the distillers that are like thieving the whiskey right out of the barrel. That's what they're going for here, was that aroma. So let's go in and go for the aroma here real quick. Definitely get some Scotch vibes off this. Actually get a little bit of smoke on this, so a little smokiness. Just a hint. You can smell the spice and the oak underneath there too. Maybe a hint of the alcohol in there too. So this guy does come in at 51.4%, so it's a pretty good proof point. It's 102.8 proof. It's not barrel proof though. A lot of people think that Nikka from the Barrel is barrel proof, but it's definitely proofed to the 51.4%. Every batch they do. So if I were to guess, though, I would say it's probably not far off from barrel proof. A lot of Scotches are only, barreled at 110 proof point or less and all that. So I wouldn't think it's watered down a whole lot. It is a pleasant nose, though. So. If I get past that smoke, I think I do pick up a little bit of fruit on there, or vanilla at least. So there's definitely something there. Let's go ahead and give it a quick taste. Cheers. It's nice. Definitely has some sweetness right when it hit my tongue. It's got a good mouthfeel. Not super viscous, but definitely not thin. But that sweetness immediately exploded with spice. Very, very peppery spice. Definitely getting vanilla on the taste. Yeah, the spice definitely comes later too. It hits the tongue nice and cool, a little sweet. And then the spice really hits you. So good warmth going down. Very pleasant. So let me let this sit for a moment while I keep talking. I'll give it some more notes here in a second. All right, the Nikka Distillery was founded in 1934. I'm going to butcher some Japanese names here, so I apologize in advance. But it was founded by Masataka Takatsuru. He is considered the founder of Japanese whiskey. He was actually sponsored to go to Scotland and learn the art of whiskey making. So he went to Scotland in 1918 and studied organic chemistry at the University of Glasgow, and then also studied whiskey distilling in Campbelltown at the Hazelburn Distillery. He then returned to Japan in 1920, only to find the company that had sponsored him didn't have the feasibility to start anything up and all that. So a couple years later, in 1923, he was hired by Torii Sanjuro, and together they started up the Yamazaki distillery with Masataka as the brains behind the distillation process, the master distiller, and all that. So he is considered the founder of modern Japanese whiskey. But that plant, the Yamazaki plant, was the first of what is now the Suntory distillery plant. So he worked there for 10 years, and in 1934 he left and started up his own distillery, Yoichi, which was the first of the Nikka distilleries, and created the Nikka Distilling Company. So they still have the Yoichi distillery. They also have the Miyagicho distillery. Yoichi primarily is the malt whiskey for Nikka, so they do almost all malt whiskeys there. And the Miyagicho distillery does some malt, but mostly grain, a lot of their grain whiskeys. So like I say, this is a blend of, I believe, around 40% malt, 60% grain whiskeys. So from all over. In 1954, Nikka Distillery became part of the Asahi Group, which is probably best known, here in America as a beer, Asahi, Japanese beer. Asahi's a large conglomerate that owns a lot of different companies. So definitely getting some sweet fruit on this nose now, so it's nice. All right, one more taste and nose. Hopefully give y'all some insight into making some decisions on whether to try this or not. So now, I first had this in a bottle share last year, 2022. Really hadn't seen on the shelves, this past year until recently. I found it on the shelves, and I was pleasantly surprised. It was just around $75. So, unlike most things that have been going up in price the last couple of years, this may have actually come down. I think a couple of years ago, bottles of this were closer to $100 price range. Probably still are in some places, but I actually found it for like $75. So, pleasant pickup on the price. So, yeah, it's got a good nose. It's definitely not fading. It's got that vanilla caramel in the nose. All right, give it another good taste. All right, yeah, definitely getting some oak presence there. The 100 different barrels that I say are blended together here. The blending is done, and then it's put back in some barrels and aged for another 3 to 6 months, according to their website. And they primarily aged that in ex-bourbon barrels and ex-sherry butts. So there is some sherry influence here. I think I do pick up the sherry influence more on the taste than on the nose. The bourbon influence there also. You've got the oakiness, the spiciness, vanilla is present. It's actually a lot spicier than I would think. I mean, it being only 102 proof, this can drink pretty hot. So it's not the alcohol though. It's the spices from the wood and whatnot. Very peppery. Very nice though. They dance on your tongue. They linger there for a bit. Very pleasant sip. So yeah, so this is only, like I said, this is only the second Japanese whiskey I've ever purchased. Second one I've reviewed. Suntory Hibiki Harmony I had previously reviewed, which was also a blended whiskey. And this Nikka from the barrel. Yeah, it's very nice too. I'm surprised at how much smokiness I'm getting on this. And I'm not going to say it's peat either. It's I don't know if there's any peat in here, but it's definitely some smokiness on the nose. So also in 2021, the Japanese Spirits Association published the legal definition of Japanese whiskey, And, you know, just like Scotch is defined and bourbon is defined and all that. And that doesn't go into effect until 2024. But oddly enough, Nikka on their website has already put an asterisk on this and basically said this cannot be classified as Japanese whiskey anymore. So even though I'm absolutely sure, you know, 95+% of this would be pure Japanese whiskey, I think there may be a you know, tad bit of Scotch in this. So I mean, that's what's the consensus is, you know, from years past, that this might have a tad bit of actual Scotch blended in with it. Yeah, we'll see what they do moving forward. I just know, you know, for what they have already made or already had on the market and all that, they've already put an asterisk on this. So see if it stays that way or if they're able to rein that back in. Yeah, pleasant nose, pleasant sip. No regrets here for me. I mean, I would not hesitate to pick up a bottle of this. Definitely very Scotchy. So if you like Scotches, this would be a nice dram. So, all right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you watching. Hit that like button. Hit subscribe. Leave some comments down below if you've tried this before. If there's other Japanese whiskeys you prefer or would like to see me review. Appreciate all feedback. Remember, everybody, all bourbon is whiskey, but all whiskey is not bourbon. The best bourbon comes from Kentucky. And Japan is definitely making some pretty good whiskey. Cheers.
Turkey.